Hi, it's Sarah Bakri, and you are watching She's All That, the online show that celebrates, inspires, and empowers women. Welcome to our third episode. Our special guest for today is Dr. Haniza Yon. Dr. Haniza is the CEO and founder of Global Psytech. She has been the driving force behind the development of GFI, an AI-based alternative credit risk assessment system. She was also the founding president of the Malaysian Psychometrics Association and has been working in psychometrics for more than 25 years. Dr. Haniza, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's an honor to have you here. So I'm just going to jump straight into the questions because I guess for our viewers who are listening to this, they hear psychometrics. Can you explain to us and the viewers, as simple as you could, what is psychometrics and how does it work?
Okay, well, psychometrics come from two Greek words originally. It came from two Greek words. One is psyche, the other one is metron. Psyche means something in the mind, something in the heart. And then metron means you're putting a metric, you're measuring it. So in a layman term, it means you are assessing what's in the mind of a person. What can be in the mind? It can be your knowledge, it can be your ability, it can be your personality. So these are the things that what psychometric does to measure these things. How does psychometric measure all these things? Because these are the things that you usually don't see, right?
Yep.
Because what's in the person's intention, motivation, you cannot see. So usually psychometricians, people who work as in the field of psychometrics, they are psychometricians. The people who know well what will be the method to use when you want to assess, certain things. If let's say you want to assess abilities, so what would be the best way to assess it? So the idea is so that whatever the results, the observations that you get, the score that you get will be very valid. It will be very accurate. So that is, in a layman's term, what psychometrician does.
All right.
So psychometrics is the science of understanding people behavior. You can say it that way too.
And you've been in psychometrics you've been doing in psychometrics for over 25 years. How did you get into it? How did you start?
Well, usually I would say that I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I was young. I got an offer to go and do my my PhD. I was in my 20s. Then when you get a scholarship, you'll be thinking like, okay, I just want to go and do my PhD, right? So you don't really know like what you're so open to adventure. Yep. So when I arrived at the school at the university where I did my PhD, about the same time there was a professor who has a big name in the field of psychometrics who joined the university at that time. So everyone was like, oh, this professor is like a great professor. He writes theories. He's a big. So I was attracted to the field. That was how it started. But when I started learning what it does, what it's all about, that was when I realized that I really love what I'm doing.
That's when you fell in love.
Yes, that's how I fell in love with the field of psychometrics. And also, like in the late 2000, during the late night, close to, I think the late 90s, the late 90s,
yes.
Was also the time when psychometrics was, the field became like, it was the golden time for people who specialize in the field. Because that is also the time when in the US assessment, has become like very big.
Okay.
So yes, so the importance of the field also has been um, you know um, uh, has grown, and also along with the technology, because psychometrics is a field that involves statistics. It involves making prediction about people, so of course we use like computer algorithms to predict people. So when technology, computer has advanced, definitely, so it will improve the prediction that we make, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was how it started, so everything happened, at the right time. So
Mm-hmm.
once I started working in the field, I found myself more and more engaged in the field. And then, like today, for instance, in the past, people assess based on what you give. Yeah, if you're given a test, an exam, then you have to answer to, yeah, give your answers. But today, with the big data, we can assess people not just by looking at what they give, the answers. We can also look at, their social media information, their use of telco information, So that's why I think the field itself has grown, bigger and bigger. That's like, it makes people who work in the field, you don't even have time to feel bored, like, so
Mm.
there's all new excitement,
New
fun, excitement
excitement. It's
coming up.
rapidly changing. There's a lot to
Correct.
catch up.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now I read it from your website. I think it's from Global Psytech that psychometrics is perceived as an obscure academic field rather than a practical discipline. Is it still that way, and why is it that way?
um I would say things have changed today, because you see, maybe I should share, like when I first came back to Malaysia in 2008. At that time, this was like 12 years ago. I think in Malaysia at that time, it was very difficult to find people who actually are able to develop, produce psychometric tools instead of only as end users, So we
Okay.
find, a lot of people are just they're the users of all these psychometric tools. Um, so I think the reason why people become the users in Malaysia in 12 years ago was mainly because they do not know the technical side of how to develop a good tools, like, so because of, in order to be a psychometrician, you need to have, good knowledge in statistics, good knowledge in measurement, and then good knowledge in psychology. It's a combination. So, and of course, psychometricians always work very closely with psychologists, or the subject matter experts. Psychometricians are usually, they're not psychologists, but we do have some psychologists that have, qualifications in psychometrics to
Mm-hmm.
become psychometricians. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's because of that. In the past, people see it like you need to have all these different skill sets, and it's not an easy field.
Okay.
I think that's why, and that's why I think it is known as an obscure field, because it's like esoteric, like it is very much like only the people who are trained in it know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in terms of reality, a lot of organizations, especially big ones, they have used, various types of psychometric assessments for promotion, for recruitment. So it's being used actually. So I think until today, the theories in psychometrics, keep changing to accommodate the different kind of data that we have today. So it may belong to a niche group of people because of, because of the complexity of the skill sets, you know. So I think until, like, in Malaysia today, I think I've been around for 12 years in Malaysia. I think it's still very rare, very
Mm-hmm.
hard among the Malaysians who are, like who have this kind of skill sets, like just like data scientists, we have started to grow the field, right?
Yes.
So I
Only
think,
started.
yes, yes. So psychometricians will use almost similar tools for prediction, but they will go deeper into the explanation, why do people behave that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if
Yes.
you are a data scientist, you will be finding, you will looking at the prediction, but
Yep.
you still need the explanation why people behave that way. That
Yes.
is how you,
The reasoning, right? The
yes,
reasoning behind why the decision that they choose and why they are the way they are, which leads
right.
me into the next question that we've talked before, which is how your
Mm-hmm.
partnership with Bank Islam, JFI, is helping the MSMEs. Could you share more about, because this is something that we talked about before, something that's close
Uh-huh.
to both our hearts because it's for SMEs. Could you share more? What is it that you're developing and how is it helping us?
Okay. All right, sure. Um, you see, usually for banks, when they give out financing. So like in this case for MSME, it will be business financing. Yeah. So when they give out financing, they have their own sets of criteria how they're going to approve which kind of application that they would approve, right? So usually one of the requirements would be the applicants must have a verifiable credit history or formal credit history. In Malaysia alone, there are still like a lot of entrepreneurs, especially micro entrepreneurs, that do not have this formal, credit history. So
Credit score.
because of then, yes, because of that reason, they may be excluded, right? They are excluded from the regular, regulated lenders, like from making loans. So people want to look at, your 6 months loan statement, bank statement. They want to see a profit, your revenue and all that. And to a lot of micro entrepreneurs, this is a problem. You see, this is like you have to wait for at least, like what, 3 years until you have like a solid,
Flow.
yes, for you to apply. So, with the advancement in the data prediction, machine learning, so I thought of using behavioral aspect of the person, psychometrics data, as one of the predictors. My goal, what I want to do is I want to try to show that if I can prove that when you're using psychometrics data as one of the predictors for those, that psychometrics data will be able to make equal prediction, if not more, better, as all this other credit information, right? So if I am able to do that, then imagine that GFI will be able to help so many people, right? Because if we, lending institutions or, licensed money lenders, they, they, um, they are not willing to give the loans because that is, it's part of the policy, one. And then also because they don't have the guarantee that they're going to get back whatever
Yeah.
that they're giving, lending to people, right? But if I can show it scientifically that, that the risk, that we are able to quantify the risk, maybe lenders can have, can reconsider and look at their risk appetite based on their risk appetite, whether if they want to expand their loan portfolio, right? Maybe they can consider using GFI, which stands for General Financial Insights. So that was, so my partnership with Bank Islam is, with BIMB is looking into that area, looking into how we can come up with a credit risk assessment model that can be used to assess whether a person will default on a loan, So
Yeah.
that is what we are doing for them. And we also are looking into, you see, it's very interesting. When we assess the customers, we also assess customers in terms of their entrepreneurship, okay? We look at their ability to pay as well as willingness to pay. You can be somebody who, you know, is doing well in your business, but you do not want to pay the loan, right? So if
Some
so we're
evil
looking
people.
at, right. So we're looking at these two angles, ability to pay and willingness to pay. So ability to pay, we look at whether the person has good financial knowledge, you know, whether they're good at making decisions related to finance. We look at, we assess in terms of their budgeting, their spending, yeah, their savings attitude. We look at their self-regulation, whether, you know, they're able to control themselves from, you know,
Yeah,
buying.
yeah.
Okay.
This is so useful. This is what the bankers, this is what they want to know. And like what you said, because
Yes.
of
Right.
bias and such, we could be making the wrong decision. And we want
Right.
a solid, proven way to know how they
Correct.
are.
You know, right. And then we also assess under the financial decision making, we look at the financial knowledge of the person. So usually loan officers, they assess that as well. So they, you know, they use their own methods that may not be like as comprehensive because, you know, in the, if you have heard of the 5 C's of credits, yeah, the criteria that people use, loan officers use before they approve a loan. One of them is called character assessment. You know, they assess the character of the person. So when they assess the character, they also look into, you know, whether this person is knowledgeable in finance and all that. But that is subjected to the loan officer. So which means that there might be, you know, some errors that can be due to, you know, like biasness and all
Yeah.
that. So
Human
now,
error.
right. So now we are quantifying it. That's what we do. It's not like we are doing something that is so different, but we're doing it in a new way of doing it, you know. So we look at the financial decision making. We also assess in terms of entrepreneurship. Okay. So whether this person that applies for the loan, do they have all the characters, you know, personality traits that are very important to be successful in business. So let's say, for instance, perseverance. Okay. Is perseverance, we look at perseverance, and then we also look at adaptability, you know, whether the person is able to adapt to changes, how fast will it be, yeah. So these two, the financial decision making and the um, entrepreneurship will contribute to, will give us some information to pay, right? Uh, you know, the other one is the willingness to pay. We look at the compliance, okay? That means we're looking at the rule following of the person, whether this person is willing to follow the rules that the lenders have, that you have to pay, you know, certain date, you know. And then we also look at the moral competence, you know, whether this person has what it takes, you know, that knows that this is good, this is bad, you know,
Ethics,
and
yeah.
they owe money, they must pay. Okay? So that's the kind of assessment data that we get from the customers, you know. So we, you know, so this JFI also produce reports, you know, so the bank will be able to use the report and review the reports before they make any decision that will help them, you know, like making decision. And some of the, I also work with some of the other banks, you know, like some of the other banks, they want to use the results for entrepreneurship to be given to their customers, because they want their customers to be able to see what are the training programs that the customers can attend in order to you know, improve themselves, you know, in terms of entrepreneurship.
So it's more added value for the customers that they are
Yes,
serving.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
I think this
Yeah.
is great news and something that is super useful and beneficial to everyone,
Yeah.
not just the banks, but also the customers, basically us, the SMEs.
Yes,
All
yes.
right?
It's like giving a second hope
Yes.
to a lot of micro to be
Yes,
entrepreneur
yes, yes.
to be
Yes,
entrepreneur.
yes, yes. This is the one
Yeah.
that I remember you shared. Once they assess them, then we could share the feedback with them and tell them
Yes.
these are the aspects, these are the parts that you should improve and you can improve, and then you
Right.
could come back and reapply for the loan.
Yes, and we are very happy with the results that we get from all the pilot projects that we have done. We are able to make a prediction of more than 94%. You know,
Wow.
so yes, about loan repayment. You know, so that makes us very happy that that, and we keep on adding more and more advanced features into GFI. So that we're able to even know with this kind of profile how much loan that you will be suitable for this kind of profile. So that is the next phase of our, which we are working on right now.
When can we expect this feature?
This risk feature is currently in terms of algorithms, all that have been done. So I would say in July that will be released. Now it's June
Okay.
next.
Next month, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is June.
Right. Yes.
Time is moving
Yes.
so fast. Well,
Mhm.
thanks for asking your questions. I have a few other, maybe not so related, but just fun questions to ask you. Okay,
Sure.
for
Take it
fun.
away.
If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what
Mhm.
question would you ask?
Mm, am I doing all right? Am I doing great? Yes.
Well, I think what you shared just now showed that how much you are working or doing things to serve the people. I mean, based on what you just shared, the question that you want to
Yes.
know,
Right.
yeah,
you
that's
know
great.
and there's always that feeling that I I want to give more, so I just want to know that uh, whether what I'm doing is on the right track, like, because sometimes I think there's always like this drive that you want to see what you do benefit a lot more people. So sometimes you have you just have to relax, just like relax and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's something that also that I'm working on, especially that I have a small team. When I want to ask about my feedback, there's not much people I can ask from because there's a small team. So it's also
Yes.
important to ask our clients after we do a
Yes.
job, how was
Right.
it? Was there
Mm-hmm.
anything you want us to
Yeah.
improve? Was there anything wrong? And you just really have to be open. Also,
Yes.
another point I want to add on, because you
Mm-hmm.
said about serving people and how much you could help. Sometimes also, I think some of us, or me, especially when I was younger, I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
about helping people around the world, whereas I should just be helping people here around me, like my family, and then your community.
Yes.
Yeah, your own neighborhood, start to make
Mhm.
changes here, and then it must be easier for you to implement bigger things on a bigger scale.
Right. Yes, I can totally, understand that. If I can also add, actually, psychometrics can also help your personal life. Yeah, not just
Uh-huh.
like of entrepreneurship and all that. In terms of compatibility with your partner. Yeah. Um, so I have this. I've created, this thing called Cinta Mumtaz.
What is
It's
that? Is that a website?
Yes, it is a website
Okay.
called Cinta Mumtaz. Yeah, Cinta is love, and Mumtaz is excellence, right? So it's also taken after Taj Mahal, right? Taj Mahal is known as love. Yeah, Cinta Mumtaz. What it does is a psychometric test that will see, let's say there is a couple, the areas that they have gaps in, so that they can understand each other better, so that they are drawn together. So So this is like to help to improve relationships. And also for single individuals, it will be for you to know what kind of partner that will suit you, you know. Understand yourself first, then only you will be able to love others, you know. So, so see, the application of psychometrics is very wide. You can use it, you know, at different purpose.
So is this website up? Can our viewers access it now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to share
It has
the
been
description.
around since 2018.
Okay, all right. I'm going to definitely share it, and I think a lot of our viewers would check it out. Okay, now we're going to play a simple game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
So I'll give you two scenarios, and you have to pick one that you would rather do or deal with. Okay. Would you rather go back to age 5 with everything that you know now, or would you know everything that your future self will learn now?
The second part, the second part, what is it
The
again?
second part is, would you rather go back to 5 years old with all the knowledge that you have now, or
Mhm.
would you want to know now everything that your future self will learn?
The second one. The
The second
second one.
one. Why?
Yeah. You know, because you see, if I go back to the age of 5 with the knowledge that I have now, I think it will take a long time for me to be able to do something significant, right? When people won't let a 5-year-old won't trust a 5-year-old, right? Not everyone does. And then, but if I know now what will be the knowledge that you know that I'm going to need in the future, if I have it now, that will prepare, you know, me better in terms of how to, you know, how to utilize the knowledge and make plans that so that I can help more people, grow more people to prepare them towards that, you know.
Yeah. And you could learn more stuff also at the same time.
Yes,
So you'll be getting more
right. Yes, yes. Better prep.
with the prep. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather see what's behind every closed door or be able to guess the combination of every safe on the first try?
Um, I would rather not see. You know, I would prefer to guess using all the information that I have. You know, so yeah, definitely, because I think I'm very much towards transparency. You know, I think I I would, and also I also like to have evidence for. I'm that kind of person, you know. I'm person, so I don't simply guess. I don't make hasty decisions. I usually use, you know, I deliberate on it using lots of evidence.
Of course. Okay. The final question. Would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music or be forced to sing along to any song you heard?
Okay, whether I would. Well, you give me a very tough question.
So you'd be forced, you
Whether,
have to either dance or sing.
um, the first what can you repeat that again? Whether I would rather be forced to dance to every song that I hear.
Yeah, whenever you hear music, would you rather have to dance or would you rather have to sing along?
Ah, I would rather sing along. You know,
Are
I
you
rather
good at
sing.
memorizing songs?
Um, well, not, you know, it depends on the mood. You know, sometimes when yeah, I think yeah, you know, but not really good. You know, not a good singer. That one.
Then that makes the two of us. Okay, Dr. Haniza, that's the end of our interview. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing your knowledge. Okay.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you for viewing. Please share in the comments what did you learn from today's show, or if you have any questions for Dr. Haniza. Also, I include all the links that Dr. Haniza mentioned, including Cinta Mumtaz, which is something that I just discovered. So I'll include that in the description link. And remember to click like and subscribe to our channel, and tune into our next episode next Saturday, next week. Please enjoy the special performance. See you next week. Thank you, Doctor.
Bye.
Thank you for taking some time off your day. I know you're a busy person. Maybe you should get another PA.
With pleasure.
Waktu pertama kali kulihat dirimu hadir, rasa hati ini inginkan dirimu. Hati tenang mendengar suara indah menyapa, gelorannya hati ini tak kusangka. Rasa ini tak tertahan, hati ini selalu untukmu. Terimalah lagu ini dari orang biasa, tapi cintaku padamu luar biasa. Aku tak punya bunga, aku tak punya harta, yang ku punya hanyalah hati yang setia, tulus padamu. Hari-hari berganti, kini cinta pun hadir. Melihatmu, memandangmu bagai bidadari, lentik indah matamu, manis senyum bibirmu, hitam panjang rambutmu, anggun terikat. Rasa ini tak tertahan, hati ini selalu untukmu. Terimalah lagu ini dari orang biasa, tapi cintaku padamu luar biasa. Aku tak punya bunga, aku tak punya harta, yang ku punya hanyalah hati yang setia, tulus padamu. Terimalah lagu ini dari orang biasa. Terimalah lagu ini dari orang biasa, tapi cintaku padamu luar biasa. Aku tak punya bunga, aku tak punya harta, yang ku punya hanyalah hati yang setia, yang ku punya hanyalah hati yang setia, tulus padamu. Yang ku punya